Yo, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing some more of the Umineko Tsubasa playthrough, and yeah, basically we've got some short stories that are actually left to read, and due to poor planning, wait, hang on a second, you weren't meant to hear that, due to not having known the fact that these stories existed and that they were short, I couldn't actually play them last time. So yeah, we're going to just have a little session today where we're going to be finishing off all of the stories that I wanted to read. So I wanted to read The Letter of Bernkastel, and I also wanted to read Memories of Lambdadelta. Wait, hang on, not Memories of Lambdadelta, Memories of the Lambdadelta. That's actually really quite odd. Like, why would you have the, like, isn't Lambdadelta as a name just enough, or is Lambdadelta an actual title? I don't know. It's hard to tell. It does kind of sound like a title. I wouldn't be surprised if it was or if it wasn't. So, yeah, obviously, you know, I've just read the first episode of episode 5, and, yeah, I think these stories are actually going to be really quite important because, oh my god, these characters are more relevant now. I mean, they were always relevant to begin with, but, yeah, they have just really increased in their relevance. I don't really know if I want to say why, because it may be a spoiler, but yeah, if you know why, you know why. And it's going to be really interesting just to see their involvement in the story in the future. So yeah, this is just a little bit of context about both of them, so yeah, I hope it will be interesting. So yeah, a letter written by the Witch of Miracles, Lady Bernkastel. What could it possibly contain? Yeah, I do wonder. Let's get into it. Right. Let's see. It's going to be quite interesting. I hope it's going to be fun, because I've heard that this actually ties with, yeah, to my beloved friend. Are you feeling well? I mean, that is actually understandable. Yeah, such a conventional greeting would mostly certainly sound like sarcasm to you now. By the way, I cannot complain that we have apathy as the theme. I genuinely love this theme so much. That's why it'd be kinder of me to ask like this. Wait, kinda? Are you still alive, my beloved friend? Who is she actually talking to, I wonder? Thanks for a reply the other day. God, I wonder who this actually is that she's referring to. This could either be some sort of event in the past that we're really, really knowledgeable about, or maybe it could be, I don't know. I mean, who would she call a friend, though? That's my question. I was very surprised they used to have the energy to at least write to me. You've got to be kidding me. So, yeah, well, the one who urged you to write an answer was me, though. Even so, the fact that you mustered energy to at least write for me, for my sake, was a great surprise. She's actually calling that a miracle or a miracle. And also, thanks for the valuable feedback. I agree with your opinion too. Oh, that's interesting. Perhaps the wire puller is indeed Lambdadelta. Yeah, I can definitely see why. Yeah, that girl probably found a witch who has the worst affinity with me, just to take revenge on me. Yeah, that is interesting, and was waiting for me to take the bait. When we say this, I mean, personally, I'm totally thinking of Beatrice. Yeah, because obviously, well, I suppose. Yeah, because obviously they both have a mutual desire just to play in the game board because of the fact that, you know, they're bored and they want to have a means of making it so that there's no boredom, and yeah, as a result of that, Lambda has basically thought she's really taken advantage of the fact that Bern's actually became a part of the game board. And it is interesting that, you know, now Bern is literally going to be the person who is helping battle her, but at the same time, even though she is doing what an ally would be doing, there is no trusting her. It's just quite funny that. I mean, that is interesting. I really do wonder who is actually writing, because it's obviously someone, I don't think it's somebody very powerful, but it's also someone who has knowledge of the game board. I feel like Ronover would be the person, I don't know. No, but at the same time, we can't forget about the fact that, you know, Ronover isn't he isn't in such bad spirits that, you know, he needs to muster the energy to actually write to somebody. Weird. Yeah, that is interesting. So when, you know, she says the worst affinity, I am assuming Beatrice is what is the witch she's actually talking about. Yeah. No, that is fair, and I see that, because obviously now, the thing is, the world of witches is so bloody brutal that if you fall for this bait, there is no way of actually coming back. I mean, you've done it, it's an irreversible decision, and now I understand. Oh, that is interesting. I guess you're writing to me just because of how ridiculous I look now. I feel like you're wearing your malicious smile. God, I really wonder who she's writing to. However, considering your illness, she might be a precious being for me. If she is a much higher ranked witch than I am, it means that she is that much closer to your disease? Is it just boredom, the disease that eats into them? Because that would actually fit, because obviously it is a thing that can ruin their life, and they have to live for such a ridiculously long time that, you know, it would ruin every single second if it actually made it. If it was a consistent thing that, you know, persisted within each day. I do wonder, in other words, it means that what she is doing is the only way to escape from the disease that eats into you, no, into us. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's definitely confirmed that this person, that is, if it's talking about boredom, this is confirmed that this is a magical person, let's be honest here. No, into us, and she's putting it into practice. And ironically, it means she is teaching it to me. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter, but if by getting on with that girl's fast, your disease will get better. I'd like you to please lend me your strength. Lambdadelta. Lambdadelta boasted that I certainly will not be able to win on this game board. Oh, that's interesting. Because obviously when we think of Rule X, we think of Higurashi, and, you know, Higurashi spoilers, but yeah, there's Hinamizawa syndrome connotations, and it's interesting that they're talking about diseases. I do wonder if this is going to be Rule XYZ, but it's boredom related as opposed to Hinamizawa syndrome related, or maybe there's going to be something about, maybe they're going to link it to the game board rather than obviously the stuff it would be linked to in Higurashi. That's actually really interesting that they've, you know, had it here. Oh shit. I really do wonder who is actually writing to Bern, though, because it's just kind of surprising to think that, you know, somebody actually knows and cares about her, and obviously, you know, has a really intimate view on the game board, as we can see here, that isn't, you know, Lambda. Surprises me. That is interesting. So, the disease will get better the more she wins and plays the game. Ah, yeah. She's a really stupid girl. Wait, so this is going to be quite something. In other words, it's like that one story that would always begin on June 20th. Wait, so I've just got to search up. Of course, I can't remember the rules. What is Rule X in Higurashi? I completely forgot. What? That's really, really weird. So, Rule X is the fact that a random person actually falls victim to Hinamizawa syndrome. But yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, Tomitake and Takano, they act as catalysts for the deaths. I think one of the rules is that Takano or Oishi are usually the people that bring on the paranoia, and then Rule Y is... No, there's another rule. No, I forgot what the other one was. Oh my god. Yeah, I should search it up. One of them is really quite obvious. Let's just read the wiki so that I'm a little bit knowledgeable before... Oh, right, yeah, so, yeah, I remember one of them being random, yeah. Everyone believes that the Sonosaki family are behind the mysterious deaths is Rule Z, and then Rule Y is Takano and Tomitake die on Watanagashi Festival night. Right. Yeah, but at the same time, this kind of... Yeah, so it's as if somebody succumbs to the random Hinamizawa syndrome, some random succumbs to Hinamizawa syndrome, so... Yeah. Indeed. But I'm going to interpret this as, you know, instead of Hinamizawa syndrome that's being talked about, boredom's the thing that's being talked about. I don't know though, maybe we're told differently. Indeed, if we consider it that way, that witch named Beatrice certainly is interesting. Fair, yeah. God, who is you? I really, really wonder. She opened up a world that neither I, you, or Lambda knew about. I bet you at the end it's going to say... It is Rule Y that makes it a source of magic. So Rule Y is that... But this makes no sense. How do you tie this to Umineko? It's, you know, Tomitake and Takano, they'll die on Night of the Watanagashi. But I'm assuming that Rule Y, in this case, is more a means of saying that the 18 will die and they are always destined for death if this person is, you know, interfering. It seems Lambdadelta just touched it a bit. Oh, that is interesting, but Lambda couldn't possibly reach her level. If this is the very thing what we call magic, then the only one of us who could be called a witch is Beatrice. In that sense. In that sense, we may say that since she put together her own magic system, even though she's just getting started as a witch, she has already surpassed witches, and she is even starting to approach your what the fuck? Okay, whoever this is, they are of absurd importance because of the fact that Bern is literally referring to them as your level. Yeah, this is a powerful person. I have an idea of who it is, but we haven't read about them, so we shouldn't know about it. But, okay, like, go to the next 30 seconds if you want spoilers, but I think she's writing to Featherin. I shouldn't know that, but I do. Of course he could actually go on Sotsu. You can't get pissed off at me that much. But that's my theory. And that would suggest the respect and the admiration. Because of the fact that where is it? Like, for example, thanks to a valuable thief. Valuable. You know, when would somebody as powerful as Bern praise the fact that it's valuable? Do you see what I mean? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's quite something. Yeah, if only she was fully aware of that. And that is interesting that Bern says that. That's interesting. That is really interesting. If that was the case, not even Lambdadelta would be a match for her, and I even less. And most probably, I'll be affected with the same disease as you. Oh, that is interesting. I'm assuming it's just a disease of madness caused by boredom. However, even so, this is really interesting. Yeah. I see this rule Y as the very existence of the witch Beatrice. That's right. I managed to analyse this far. Yeah, of course, there's the last rule. Rule Z. Yeah, because the number of phenomena that being observed that can't be explained with rules X and Y alone is way too big. So in Higurashi, that would be, you know, a random person gets Hinamizawa syndrome, and then another person, Tomitake and Takano, always die on the night of the Watanagashi. But at the same time, in Umineko, I'm assuming that a random person... Well, I suppose a random person is selected for... I'm assuming Rule X is a random person is selected for the Epitaph's killings, and then Rule Y is that the Twilight killings will always happen in some sort of set structure, maybe? That's what I'm assuming. Or could this more be talking about witches rather than the game board? I don't know. It is interesting her saying that Beatrice has so much more power than she's actually letting on. Yeah. Oh. I'm not actually sure what Rule Z actually is. Yeah, because obviously in Higurashi it would be Sonozaki family is responsible for everything, that's what people believe. But, yeah. According to Lambdadelta. Yeah, fair. It seems that this component has a lethally bad affinity with me. If we assume those words are a hint. Then what on earth is this component? Yeah, I see that. Yeah, for a while I'd assumed that Rule Z is a maze-like existence hiding the truth. And because obviously you think that, you know, it's really, really saying that, you know, there is always going to be somebody who is suspected, and because of the fact that somebody is suspected more than, you know, an objective and rational approach is taken, the truth is gonna be dimmed a lot because of the fact that it will be open to bias and it will be able to affect the truth. In other words... Oh, that's interesting. In other words, await and mace do not let me come close to rules X and Y. Yeah. My power is just like writing up a map, making sure I don't miss a single fork in this maze, even if it takes me 100. I know, even if it takes me 100 years. But I suppose, yeah, Bern, what she wants to do in this, I kind of get the impression that she wants to find the truth without any, you know, without anything to actually prevent it from happening, really. Yeah, but that does make sense. Fair. In other words, no matter how complex the maze is one day, I'll certainly be able to walk through it. By the way, if it was Lambdadelta. Yeah, definitely, yeah. She does sound reckless, I see what she's saying. Fair enough. By the way, if it was Lambdadelta, I guess she'd just keep on walking alone. Along the walls until she arrived at the exit, even if it took her 1,000 years. No calculation, no plan, just going straight in there. No, actually, she would drill holes into the walls in a straight line until she reaches the exit without taking a single detour. To be fair, I mean, that is a smart strategy, but that's going to be really, really time consuming. So how does such a maze have a bad affinity with me? There's only one thing I can think of. Perhaps. Oh, that is interesting. And I do actually see that because of the fact that, you know, there are so many things in these game boards, especially now that Lambda's running them. You know, the fact that they're just going to totally be ridiculously unpredictable. Like, are you really actually going to be able to divulge any information from a game board that is so, you know, random? For example. Yeah, that's exactly why. Yeah, for example, perhaps the maze has an indefinite, ever-changing shape. But it is interesting, you could then think, can you write up the details for the map and then can you actually cross the maze when things are actually, you know, changing? I see. Oh my god, I just love that, you know, these people don't obviously know stuff that we know, so they feel like this is just something really, really distant. That's hilarious. I see, if it is this general idea, I might be able to explain it with the rock, paper, scissors game that Lambdadelta talked about. Yeah, I can't reach the end of this maze with the powers given to me, but to her, with her drill, this maze is nothing. I can understand this as a general idea. Oh, that's interesting. But trying to think of it as a rule, I don't understand anything at all. Yeah, because rules are supposed to be immutable, right? Something so indefinite being rules beyond my understanding. Oh, yeah, I like that. Even though rules should be solid, this one is fluid. Kind of like Mercury. There's a very random thing to... Oh, right, so... Oh, that's good that we're going to get context for that. Yeah, interesting. So I suppose the rule in this case could basically be, because of the fact that rule Z's being referred to, you know, because of the fact that rule Z's being referred to, it's basically saying that there are so many game boards and there are so many different truths that, you know, there's, it's actually impossible to think of one culprit who has actually done it because of how many game boards are actually being set up. And, you know, you need, I suppose, Lambda's powers to literally drill a hole in all of that maze-related stuff to actually get into, you know, the finale and the end of the maze, because of the fact that, you know, it's just so hopeless if you don't really. And, I suppose, I don't really understand the Lambda having powers to actually drill through the maze. But I suppose, because of the fact that she's a game master, that is what she can do. And I suppose drilling for maze, it could be likened to just, you know, having so many theories and firing all of them at your opponent and then making it, because it just kind of sounds like the brutality of drilling, really. I mean, drilling is a little bit more certain because you just, you know, you just hold a trigger and then, you know, the drill works. But yeah, I don't know. In Latin, mercury means living silver. Really? That's weird. That actually really surprised me. God. They believe that it leads to perpetual youth, and it was highly valued as a research object by the alchemists. I'm assuming this is definitely before, you know, the health effects of mercury were known. It's ironic. Turns out this is connected to alchemy and witches, and she considers herself to be a witch. Unless I can unravel this rule Z. Oh, that's interesting. Unless I can unravel this rule Z. No, because I can't unravel it, Beatrice remain an actual real witch. Yeah, and it is interesting because of the fact that, you know, Bern can't actually unravel the truth of what's actually happened yet. You know, she can't deny Beatrice's position as a witch. I love that she's actually writing this. Oh, writing me so much bore me out. God, if you read everything up until this point, you must be laughing. Jesus Christ, I mean, Bern, when somebody tells her to have self-confidence, she would not do it. I'd be willing to bet on it. I see that. That is a really uncharacteristic face. I mean, it's just kind of a face that it feels like it's a hopeless face, but at the same time it also feels, I don't know, it just feels like a face that, though you've planned so much and you know and you've put it into your own understanding so much, like the situation, you still just can't find a way out of it, really. That's going to be interesting. Before long, I'll pay you a visit. That is interesting. I do wonder what has actually happened to this person. The fact that they have a really bad disease, and, you know, one that Lambda may be a victim of as well, because of the fact that she's really high up. I'm assuming this person that they're talking to is really, really high up in the ranking, like even higher than these people. And then, obviously, with that, she can actually have a disease worse than Lambda. I don't know, but for now, I will serve as your get well gift. God, yeah, I love how, you know, how sort of weird this relationship is, really. I mean, these people really, really encourage the other just to totally laugh at them. It's surprising. It's just really interesting stuff like this because you can so obviously see how much of a problem boredom is, you know, just totally specifying whether something happens. And, you know, just I think in this case, even though this is obviously a really quite cold thing to say, it's considerate. Whoever this is knows them very well because they can probably imagine Bern making some sort of particular face just from having read something that they have, you know, done. Ooh. You enjoy that, right? Yeah, I know you do. Oh, that is interesting. Please revive at last, so I can meet a friend who I haven't seen for so long. Oh, yeah. That is interesting. From the friend you hopefully still hold dear, Bernkastel. Is there a response? Ooh. Oh, that's the end. Oh. Oh, that's in... Oh, that is interesting. So this is actually written before Dawn of... Oh, wow. What? You've got to be kidding me. What? Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, what's this? Oh my god, I love that I can never ever tell what's actually happening. So some sort of really quite big and obviously luxurious room. Whoever this is, it belongs to somebody rich. That's really, really interesting. So she could have potentially been rising to the dawn of it. That was actually a really quite interesting story. I mean, yeah, I didn't really understand much of it, but at the same time, though, that was quite fun. And, you know, it does kind of surprise me that, you know, in the end of it, she was actually writing to dawn of it, and, yeah, but that is actually really quite interesting. I didn't actually so when, you know, especially she was specifying about the severe magical power that he actually has, I didn't realise that he had a ridiculous amount of magical power. That just really surprises me, because... But at the same time, he is a really, really valuable servant for Beatrice, and, I mean, I think, obviously, everything he showed in episode 4, that wasn't a representation of his true magical power whatsoever. So that's really interesting. I do wonder if this... So I'm assuming, if I put this in perspective, this was written before episode 3, and, yeah, it was written at the real beginning, and it's just really interesting seeing, you know, the new kind of perspective that Bern had. But at the same time, though, it does kind of contradict, because... Let me just... Wait, I just want to get to the end of it. It's really quite convenient. What we can do is, once we're in, we can just look at everything from right-clicking. But, oh no, we can't right-click anymore, sorry. Right. Yeah, so, I actually kind of love that you can just, like, entirely view the chapter. But, yeah. It would make sense if boredom is the case here. But yeah, it does see that, yeah. And that is interesting. Yeah, because obviously Bern wants a Donove's power because of the fact that, you know, it will make his disease better and it will make the situation a more entertaining event, I suppose. That is actually really, really interesting. So I do kind of get the impression that... Oh, that ending, by the way, that was really quite something. And it actually really surprises me. Yeah, the stuff regarding the love, that was really quite funny. Oh, yeah, we can read it here. Yeah, it's just really interesting, this. I mean... God, it's such a ridiculously twisted way of actually looking at it, though. I mean, my God. Yeah, and then... Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting because obviously, even though nothing was found in this mystery person's room, then, you know, it is impossible to prove that there isn't something there. That's hilarious. So, yeah, that was a really quite interesting story. I forgot how it... Oh, yeah. Right, so now we're going to read the Lambdadelta story. That was a really quite interesting little letter, and I think that really just showed, you know, not only everything in the game board. I mean, I didn't really understand the story the most, but it was interesting, just a real level of mystery. And what I want to do is, you know, in my own time, when I know a bit more about the story, I want to reread that and see if I can actually interpret it a little bit differently because of that. And, yeah, I do wonder. That was quite cool. And it was really interesting just seeing a little bit more of Bern's character. It's just really interesting seeing the relation that she actually has to witches. And yeah, it's just really interesting to see how they not only communicate, but also, you know, how... It's just interesting how different they are from human beings, really. It really is. And it's just really quite fun to see people who, you know, in essence, they look like human beings, but at the same time, they are just so different. Right. Let's look at memories of Lambdadelta. Lambdadelta is known as the Witch of Certainty. Well, the stream of humans always wanting... Oh, yeah, definitely though, yeah. It's certainly endless. It is interesting that even though, you know, this... I find it interesting that this is specified for Lambda, but it was never specified for Bern. But at the same time, it does kind of make sense because of the fact that, you know, a miracle, even you may have chance of actually getting a miracle, but at the same time, it's so low that... You know, it can't really be granted to you whatsoever. Whereas with Lambda, you can, you know, have certainty that, you know, your goal is going to be achieved. So, right, let's get into this. See what this is then. So, I hope this will be cool. It looks like it has candy and, you know, loads of things you find in a bakery on that little... Ah, now I see why it could potentially be relevant. In gratitude for the letter from the other day, relevant fragments included. Memories of Lambdadelta. That is interesting. Ah, yes. I think I was right about the disease. Boredom is poison for us. So, to relieve it somewhat, I grant the desires of humans sometimes. Yeah, fair. I'll grant you one wish. Wait, so she's writing to a human? Ah, that sounds so bittersweet. Yeah, those words alone could replace sugar for tea. For 7 years? Jesus Christ. Those who hear the words from me get to enjoy their bittersweetness as well. And it is interesting that, you know, the people who actually enjoy... It's just quite funny that Lambda is so ridiculously powerful that, you know, if she wanted to make it so that, you know, her boredom was diverted for one... Well, for, you know, like she said, you know, seeing... the changes as a result of her certainty will actually potentially have like 7 years of significance. It really is quite something. This is an ominous song. I like it. It sounds like something you'd hear in... I don't know, actually. No. Of course, I also enjoy it. Hearing the kind of wishes they come up with. Yeah, understandable, yeah. After all, it could happen that I'll end up meeting a new friend. Unfortunately, my expectations always end up being betrayed. That girl told me that expectations are similar to tea leaf. What? You can't make tea... Oh, that is interesting. You can't make tea without them. It's just hot water. Fair. That's why any world must have an appropriate amount of expectations, hopes and dreams. This is a fitting example for her. If there's too many tea leaves... Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, the tea is even more disgusting to drink than raw hot water. God, who would drink raw hot water though? But yeah. That's why I use a proper quantity, the amount she taught me. Or maybe just a bit less. Yeah, I can't drink tea that is too bitter, so I don't add a lot of tea leaves. Oh yeah, of course they'd ask for the catch. That's only natural. It must just be so weird, basically, because of the fact that Lambda is just, you know, relieving her boredom. She can literally change your life. It's absurd. And it's just so interesting to think that, you know, seeing, obviously, how all of the desires are actually changed, and, you know, they're, you know, taken into effect by the people. And obviously, we learn from the Tanabata story that, you know, she only likes... granting people the desire who will never ever stop in having motivation for their goal, really, no matter what happens. So it's just interesting to see, like, what actually happens regarding the certainty. And it's just really interesting, like in the Tanabata story, you know, it's uncharacteristically sweet of Lambda to do this. It really is. Yeah. That is interesting, this. I really like this expectations analogy. It's actually really good. Yeah, maybe a bit less is a good idea. Yeah, because obviously you can't have too many expectations, because if you do, then, you know, you're just going to have a really bad experience if they're obviously... No, I mean, to be fair, I don't think this is the best analogy, because of the fact that with tea, obviously, if you add too many tea leaves, it's objectively going to taste crap. No, wait, maybe without your expectation, it might taste good. But at the same time, if you always have too many expectations, then it may prove well. Yeah, it may prove well, it may not. Can I really wish for anything? What's the catch? I'm sick and tired of such boring doubts. That is interesting. So in secret, I turn an hourglass upside down. If the stupid human can't come up with even a single wish in 5 minutes... They're not even good enough to turn into tea. So if the hourglass runs out, time out. Jesus Christ. I love that. You could basically just have 5 minutes to, you know, come up with a wish that could entirely change your life. But to be honest, I feel like everyone can think within the 5 minutes, I want to become rich, or, I don't know, I want my life to be made easy, or, I don't know, stuff like that, you know? So if the hourglass runs out, time out, goodbye. That's really brutal. It really is. Oh, let me guess, I want to become rich. Oh, yeah, fair, yeah. yeah, fair. They tried to increase the affinity of 1 to infinity this way. I just genuinely love that, you know, with this whole witch view, it's such a different point of view to the view we think, because obviously, oh shit. Because obviously, if we thought of this, we'd just be thinking, oh, we're so clever. We have obviously bypassed a loophole within the whole wish-related things. But obviously, that's not going to be happening whatsoever. That's absurd that, you know, she basically tilts an hourglass, and if it runs out, then this person, you know, they have a wish that could have potentially entirely changed their life, but now they're just totally denied it. It's hilarious. They try to increase the affinity of 1 to. It is interesting that. However, I get the exact opposite impression for this. They want to take advantage. It's a favour, and then they want to exactly take advantage of it. But it is fair, because obviously that is one wish that is being granted. But at the same time, you know, if you say that you will grant one wish, and then your wish is to have infinite wishes, then you surely are going to have infinite wishes, but you're not going to have them granted. I will grant you one wish. Yeah, fair enough. It's the entirety of it is enough to actually change your reality. I see that. And one wish alone is enough to create an entire universe. Allow me to explain. You might only have one wish, but that doesn't mean you have to wish for a single countable thing. Yeah, understandable. If it's not countable, then... Well, yeah, for example, happiness. You can't counter happiness. You can't say, ah, yes, today I have 1 happiness. Today I have 10,000 happiness. Yeah, so when they can't start counting things. That is interesting. It becomes obvious that the miracles they are thinking of are worthless. What kind of boring things will a person like that wish for? Even if they had 100 wishes. Yeah, understandable. But at the same time, the thing is, if you had loads of quantifiable things, you just wished for the highest qualities in all of them, so that you can, you know, basically make your life free. People like that are worthless. Yeah, it is interesting. It's the same thing with tea. If you reuse the same tea leaves, tea leaves 100 times over, it's obvious that the tea will become ever more diluted and unappetizing. Yeah, and it's interesting because Lambda feels as if, you know, if they're quantifiable wishes, then it's just really, really dull for her to actually do it. So much so that she won't actually feel doing it is a good idea just because of how boring it is. It really surprised me that Bern's letter was written to Donovan, by the way. It really did. I was so convinced it was written to, you know, the person I mentioned. I.e., you know, the people that control them. Or at least that's what I think. I don't know though. I don't actually know that character, yeah. And to be fair, you could have, for example, a wish for emotions, which could then lead to multiple emotions. Well, any wish will lead to multiple knock-on effects, no matter what you do. That is interesting. So if someone makes this kind of boring wish, I simply tell them, oh, yes, right, I grant you a wish. See you later. Wait, hang on a second, does he actually grant them? Then I disappear. And they just keep waiting for me to come back, thinking of various different wishes. And then they die without even one of them being... That's brutal, yeah. But the only thing is, obviously, I mean, with a lot of people, they probably... Because of the fact that, you know, they haven't really had their wish granted. And, you know, they haven't really had a chat about... You know, how faithful you need to be to actually have a wish granted, and how much you need to believe in a reality where that has, you know, been granted. Yeah, it's just interesting that, you know, as a result of that, you know, Lambda just, because of the fact that Lambda hasn't actually told them that yet, there's not really much point. I mean, they're probably going to debate which wish they should have said, but, you know, it's going to be something that's really short term. Oh, idiots. Yeah, they're just going to totally forget about it. They're just going to think about the fact that it was something fun to do and it was a weird occurrence, but nothing ever happened. And then they'll probably deny magic, and they'll deny their wish ever coming true, really. Oh, idiots. And the next... Oh, this is going to be interesting after that. The next typical wish. Let me guess, resurrection. And then the next typical wish is... Oh, but the only thing is that kind of, you know, fell under the branch of the previous one because it's quantifiable. I want a lot of money. Obviously, this answer is also boring. Yeah, understandable, yeah. What's so great about money? Yeah, seriously. Do they think that a traveller in the desert, suffering from hunger and that... Oh my god, yeah, fair, would jump in happiness seeing a wad of bills. To be fair, you could eat money bills in theory, but it would obviously make it so that you were so sick that you could potentially die. Would jump in happiness at seeing a wad of bills that they couldn't even eat or drink. To be honest, I think if I was in a desert, I would wish to have a cold... I would wish to make it so that my biology is entirely changed, so that my internal body temperature was so cold that the temperature, the heat in the desert would be, I don't know, just like it is now, like maybe 10 degrees. But, hang on, I'm being a fucking... Wait, no. To counteract the ridiculousness of my wish, whenever it becomes night and it becomes cold as hell, make the reverse happen so that my body temperature warms up. I mean, obviously, it's completely impossible to happen on a human biological scale, but at the same time, these people are witches. They defy the impossible. The possible, sorry. I like this, though, yeah. But it doesn't have to apply to anyone, and that is... A wish should be personalised. But it would be totally useless. This kind of narrow freedom is only useful within the framework known as the currency system. Yeah, definitely, yeah. The narrow-mindedness of such desires, it's truly disappointing. Yeah, it is interesting that, because of the fact that it's only useful within the framework of a particular thing. You know, Lambda thinks it's really boring and really narrow-minded because of the fact that it's not versatile and everything. I see. Would a 25-cent coin be useful for a Japanese vending machine? That's hilarious. No way. Could you spend 100 yen at a street stall in Africa? I don't think so. God, no. When grieving for a loved one, would money help you fully forget them? In theory, if you took so many drugs that you completely forgot about yourself and who you actually were. Okay, I'm sorry, but that is the... And obviously, money would pay for the drugs. But that is the only thing I can think of. No, it wouldn't, is what I'm trying to say, because that would completely ruin your life. If anything, it would make it so that you can't live a life. I want love. Oh, yeah, I see why that's... I want happiness. Desire that these disappoint me too. What doesn't disappoint her, though? Because there are so many things. Like, you can't have money, you can't have, you know, quantifiable things, so that eliminates a lot of desires, and you can't have the generic, you know, I want love or happiness desires as well. So I do wonder what she actually likes. Desires like these disappoint me too. I could just say, don't worry. Yeah, you're already loved. You could just say that. You can already be happy. And that would make their wish come true. No, it wouldn't. But at the same time, even though, you know, this person is a really significant and powerful being, like, you know, when the wish is actually granted... By the way, I do find it really surprising that, you know, Lambda lies to them, that, you know, the wish will actually be granted, and then she completely abandons them if she finds it boring. And it's interesting that instead of, you know, just telling them straight up how boring their wish is, she actually does that. It just kind of gives... It just sounds too kind for her, genuinely. No, but I find this really interesting. I feel that there is a lot of understanding that she doesn't, you know, have. If Kraus and... Wait, no, that's an episode 5 spoiler. Let's just say... Yeah, you really think you could say that to somebody like Angie, for example? Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, even though, you know, the people that she loves are totally dead, I suppose you could say that she is still technically loved by them. You know, if you think about it spiritually. Yeah, love and happiness are similar to air. They fill the world, but you don't notice them at all, as if they're not even there. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So people wishing for such obvious things disappoint me. That is interesting that, you know, it's... I really like that analogy, though, because obviously everything is there and everything is really discoverable, but at the same time, it's just whether you can actually see it. And it's interesting, like, I know without love it cannot be seen refers to magic, but it kind of refers to this as well. Without knowledge of love, it cannot be seen. And, you know, with... magic kind of applies to this principle as well. And can I say something else? Love and happiness are as varied as people themselves. Yeah, definitely, because somebody else's happiness, for example, may be another person's pain. Love and happiness are just, yeah, generic terms for an incredibly wide variety of different phenomena. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, these boring people are unable to explain their version of love and happiness without resorting to such abstract terms. So no matter how many decades they live, they won't ever actually... Oh, that's interesting. Get to feel neither love nor happiness. Oh, idiots. Oh, that's interesting. But at the same time, I do kind of get the impression that this is kind of like the love one, because of the fact that, you know, skill is something you gain yourself, and it is something that can easily be gained if, well, it's all around you. You just need to discover powers to actually get that skill and, you know, utilize it for your best purposes, really. Sorry, hold up. Had a bit of... I hate it whenever you get dust in your eyebrow. No, you get, you know, the dust that's in your eyebrows that just falls onto your glasses. It's the most annoying thing. I don't know if you guys get that, but I do. It's fucking annoying. It is interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. So, yeah, if you can't explain if you can't actually, well, it's just really interesting. This, I mean, love and happiness, they're definitely open to interpretation. They really, really are. Yeah. That is interesting because of the fact that you may not be able to explain your own. And I think love and happiness, they're very generalized as well. How do you define happiness? Like, I mean, how do you define happiness overall? Because there are multiple things that make somebody happy. So I suppose you could say because of that, you know, it's really, really specific to a person. And, you know, maybe somebody just doesn't know all of the things that makes them happy. And, you know, obviously things that make you happy now may bore you, for example. So it always changes. And it's impossible to have one set of, you know, love and happiness in your life, I suppose. I think that's what that's saying. But I don't agree with love, but I do agree with happiness. Because obviously, well, it kind of depends on the person, really. There are some people that you're going to love for the entirety of your life. But at the same time, it's also really, really going to change. But so are the people that you may love for the entirety of your life. If you change as a person, then you're going to change your love for them, I suppose. I never want to lose to anyone. That's going to be interesting. At first, that wish interested me slightly, but then I decided that anyone is too much to ask. Yeah, what if you literally have, like, the most powerful being whatsoever there? That's hilarious. That's just really, really funny that Beatrice's knight was, you know, shown there. So basically you're saying that you could win to that if you have that, yeah, you can't win if there's no one to fight against. That is interesting. I mean, obviously you can win. I don't agree with that. If it's a battle that is so free, then though it would have been won, it also would not have been a battle, and that would ruin your life. Let's be honest here. You need opportunities where you can push yourself. So as soon as such people would defeat their enemies, they'd lose their will to live. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, because obviously competitivity is a big part of life. And they would just completely destroy that if they said, I'd never want to lose to anyone. Even though I could create and destroy entire universes for them. Why do people's... That is absurd. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, why do people's wishes never cross the limits imposed by human society? That is really interesting, though. Yeah, I suppose it is really, really interesting that you could, in theory, have like an entire universe. You could have your entire own world made for you. You could literally have like a planet made for you, and yet you don't. Yeah. But to be honest, I mean, this is the thing. Because of the fact that that would obviously have significance in your own life, but it wouldn't have its significance in nobody else's life, and it would also make it so that the life you live on Earth isn't really affected much. It will obviously... you know, not be a wish that people want. But at the same time, it will have knock-on effects, because let's say if you do have a planet that's made for yourself, it will make you happier, and you'll obviously feel so much more interesting, so much more in terms of interesting things. And also, if you don't have anywhere to sleep in a day, I don't know, if let's just say... Oh my god, what if the time passes differently on the universe? So you could, in theory, spend so much... You could, in theory, spend 10 years in the universe, and then you could go back to your own universe, and then you could, you know... It could just be as if a second has passed. Oh my god, there's a good way to evade a hangover before work. Wow! Oh, this is why there are humans, and not witches. Yeah, fair, yeah. Among all these boring people, I once met a girl who seemed to have potential. Let me guess, it's somebody we're gonna know. Rika from Higurashi, bet. Ah, yeah, of course. That's interesting. After spending a little while pondering, she said... It's very weird. I mean, obviously that's Angie, but why do I hear Belphegor? Wait, can we listen to that again? Why are two people saying it at once? That makes no sense. That sounds so weird. Please guarantee that my efforts will certainly not be in vain. And that is interesting because this wish is making it so that somebody will still try their hardest to live, but at the same time, their massive efforts that they are going to put in life, they will not be pointless. I see that, yeah.
Huh?
What? Yeah, that is interesting. I'm telling you that I can grant you any wish, but you want to do it yourself. You want me to guarantee that you'll succeed? What's the point? Sometimes people pretend to be philosophers and wish for things they themselves do not understand. That's hilarious, yeah. She must be one of those types. I thought, oh no, I see. Yeah, her efforts were not limited by numbers. Yeah, true. Yeah, she was asking for something similar to those who want infinite wishes. That is interesting. But deep inside her eyes, I saw something different from what I see in other people with this kind of a wish. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Even though the sand in the hourglass ran out, that definitely shows that that rule is definitely one that shows if she is interested, she will continue. If she isn't, then the rule is broken. Well, no, the rule is followed even. If the rule is broken, she's interested. I decided to listen to her tell her story a bit longer. I'm telling you, you can wish for anything and I will grant it. Yeah, I will grant it instantly. You don't have to put forward any effort at all. Yeah, any wish at all is fine, but you only get one. I told you. Oh yeah, that's what she likes. Yeah, I told you my wishes can't be counted. Wow. Yeah. Oh no, I see that. Yeah, you mean you want me to grant a large number of wishes? How greedy of you. No. Yeah, I have a single goal. Fair, yeah, but the path to it is complicated and many difficulties will arise on my way. Infinitely many. I can't tell if that's ever or if that's Warugiria. Well, or obviously I know that Angie, young Angie, is probably there. And this does really make sense if Angie is the person that's being talked about. However, I believe that I can force my path to my single goal without making any mistakes, and that I will certainly reach it. Certainly reach the goal. It's not a wish anymore. Ah, yeah, fair. Yeah, humans call this determination, and witches call it. Yeah, that is understandable. Yeah, wishes that certainly come true don't exactly fit the term determination. Yeah, because obviously you could try so hard with determination, but at the same time it could just be completely pointless. Yeah, this is perhaps better called predestination. Fair, yeah, but that's not something humans are capable of creating. Oh, that's interesting. I saw the radiance of a soul close to mine at that time. She wanted just a single thing. I wish that she would certainly be able to grant herself predestination. Yeah, I see, yeah. Is that actually what made me believe in my own power? That was her wish. That's really interesting. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. I decided I could grant this wish. Yeah, that is interesting. But just before I did that, I thought I would double check just in case. I wanted to know the actual goal of her predestination. Yeah, I do wonder. Yeah, that she would certainly reach as she claims. Oh no, that's really bad, because obviously that makes it so that, you know, it's love and it's resurrection as well. So that could potentially bore Lambda. But at the same time, it's an interesting wish still, because of the fact that she's doing everything she can herself. And, you know, it's making it so that because of the fact that she will be guaranteed with certainty for her goals to actually become reality, then, you know, she will have the power of certainty. And that will actually make it so that it's predetermined. Perhaps she hasn't surpassed the human level just yet. Yeah. Perhaps she is just another boring person. But I've already gathered the tea leaves. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, I was certain that she would live up to my expectations. That is interesting. Tell me. What do you truly wish for? What do you want your fate to be? Oh! Right! That really isn't what I was expecting. My god, I thought this is... No, I think we've actually got to make it so that, you know, Angie is detracted from this. I feel that, wait, hang on a second. Oh my god, that one word. Oh yeah, it was enough to make me certain. I granted her oh, that is interesting. I guaranteed that her efforts would not be in vain. Yeah, her determination to me was already as good as fate. And to her, my guarantee has become fate as well. That's why everything she experiences from now on will be fate. Yeah, that is interesting, but her fate actually has a weak point. Her determination is the root of her wish, so if she loses that... Oh, yeah, understandable, because obviously she needs determination to make it so that her efforts aren't in vain. And, you know, she needs to actually be able to make the efforts that are guaranteed with certainty. Her determination is the root of her wish, so if she loses that, everything will end. Besides, I did guarantee that her efforts won't be in vain. Yeah, but I never specified just how much effort she... True. Yeah, but at the same... And I mean, obviously, this person wants to become a god, so of course they are going to have such a ridiculously massive amount of effort that's required of them. So it could take her an eternity. Yeah, definitely, yeah, unless she gives up, of course. Which, let's be honest, is going to be very hard not to do. Well, anyway. Make me a god. Yeah, that kind of honest wish would have gotten a perfect score for me. And it is interesting because obviously this stretches above the limits of what can actually be occurred in the human world, because obviously there's so many people who want to have, you know, the best life possible with a wish that, you know, they don't really do anything apart from that. But this has... Oh yeah, fair, yeah. On the other hand, if I were to immediately turn a human into a god, their spirit would just fizzle out. Yeah. A human would need to gradually get used to the pressure of being almighty, making... Yeah, definitely, yeah, making short steps with their efforts. What the fuck, though? She can literally grant godhood to somebody? That is absurd. I mean, I get that she's powerful, but I didn't realise she was that powerful. That's ridiculous. Think about when Angie was initially trying to summon the 7 stakes of purgatory and how much it actually put pressure on her head. Perhaps our world is like an endless stepladder going down into a bottomless pit. You could go down slowly and cowardly, or you could... Oh, yeah, or you could hurry down to where the end is. Yeah, because obviously if you go slowly, you are actually going to get to your destination, though it's going to take a damn long time. And because of the fact that it's a bottomless pit, there is no guarantee whether it will actually end or not. Oh, yeah, or you could hurry down, and then you could just... You know, it's kind of like... I don't know, I'm just thinking of Happy Wheels. Yeah, you will be the person in Happy Wheels. What's a better example, actually? I don't know, just any game where No, you'll be like someone that plays Minecraft, because you will die of fall damage. But if you make a misstep, you will forever fall into the bottomless hell. But like, oh, that is interesting. Yeah, and obviously if you're trying to actually become a god and then you're, you know, making it so that you're constantly working for it, I suppose if you misinterpret what you should be doing for your goal, then yeah, you'll forever fall into the bottomless hell. What if, for example, you use the power that you have accumulated on your way to becoming a god, that, you know, you make other people's lives a misery, and then your entire moral compass is just completely deteriorated? So I suppose it could be a way of bottomless hell, because the more powerful you get, the more you're probably going to meet bad influences, and then, you know, the worse of a person you're going to become. In a way, she was correct in taking the careful route. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you see, it was just a little disappointing just how careful she was. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, no. Someone had her to hurry down to the depths I found myself in. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, you could give a little head start. That girl worked very hard. But I think I overestimated her after all. Ah, but at the same time, it is really interesting that even though her, you know, efforts will be guaranteed with certainty, because of the fact that the efforts are so hard and, you know, there's so much of them that are actually required to be made, you know, it's not something that's been able to have been reached. Yeah. But that's okay. So she created a new witch. What? And sent it to me. What? Oh my god, are we actually going to see? Oh, come on. Oh, I just constantly am thinking that there's going to be a new sprite of a new witch. Wow. That's actually really, really interesting. So somebody, whoever has actually created a new witch, so they've obviously got into magical power, and they do have a lot if they can literally, they have a shit ton if they can create a new being. Wow. After that, I drifted through countless worlds quite some time. Sometimes I found humans that seemed interesting, and so I asked them the same question. That is interesting, yeah, but I haven't met anyone who would ask for a wish that would surpass that of that girl. Now, I really think this could be Angie, because of this. I was thinking because of the whole godhood related thing, it could actually be a relation, wait, he could actually spoiler time, but it could be a relation to Takamo's wishes, but at the same time, she only began having the wishes of godhood with Hanyu when she, well, no, she wanted to challenge the god. She didn't actually want to become a god herself until Nomida had actually imposed a new motive about the Hinamizawa syndrome research that had made it so that, you know, you could rise against your, you know, you could be the one feared, and you could be the one, you could have all of the memory preserved, and you could, you know, live in glory forever and have your work acknowledged, and by doing that you would metaphorically become a god. Really. So it kind of is, but it kind of isn't at the same time. That is, until I met that chart. Interesting. Who is this? L&D circulation. What the fuck was that noise? Jesus Christ, that was so weird. That is interesting. Please turn me into a witch. Yeah, definitely, yeah, wow, how direct, yes. Those words were the words I always wanted to hear. This is an odd theme. It sounds very, very eerie, but at the same time very mystical as well. I like this. Wow, how direct. Yes, those are words I always wanted to hear. Yeah, that is understandable. Yeah, that is. God, my audio is loud. Ah. There we are, turn it down a little bit. That's so interesting. But again, I decided to double check. Yeah, what are you going to do with your magical power? That is fair. God, so I wonder whose house this actually is. It looks like a really quite old house, if you ask me. Like, this does not look like something we'd see in, you know, 1986. A witch. Do you want to fly through the skies on a broom? Or perhaps duplicate biscuits inside of your pocket. Of course, I would be capable of that. Ah, yeah. So maybe this is going to be like the infinite wishes paradox. Yeah, well, not really paradox, but, you know, just thing that Lambda doesn't like whatsoever. Once I become a witch, I'll be able to do anything I want to. And now there's nothing that I cannot do. Yeah, fair, because What? Because I am already a witch. That's assuming that Lambda has actually granted the wish, though. Oh, yeah, I remember that their eyes had the radiance of the eyes of that little girl I missed so much. That is interesting, the one who actually asked to become a god. I mean, that is so odd. You know, obviously with no efforts being in vain. Yeah, I felt the aroma of sweet tea leaves that I haven't felt for almost 1,000 years now. Jesus Christ. That's right. They're the same as that girl. Yeah, this person will create, accomplish everything on their own. Yeah, fair, yeah. The strong eyes have predestination in them. Yeah, that's convenient, yeah, but even that little girl has stated that she's moving towards her goal, whereas this person boldly... I know, yeah, but whereas this person boldly proclaimed that they have reached it already. That caught my interest. Yeah, fair. I love her expression. Wait a moment. Yeah, you're saying that you're already a witch. Yeah, seriously, yeah. God damn! Are you implying that you have reached the same level as me, the Witch of Certainty, who bears the title of Lady? God! Know your place, you puny human. God, even after all of that, she doesn't doubt whatsoever. Yes, I am already a witch. I need but one thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, to be acknowledged and recognised as such by another witch. What? This wish is pretty much the same as that of a little girl. Yeah. How brave. Fair, yeah. How brave, I see. If you were given the title by another witch, it becomes impossible to deny, huh? But tell me this. Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense, because obviously if you are recognised as a witch and you can't be denied because of the fact that others think genuinely that you have that title, but at the same time if you have no magical power whatsoever, then how is this going to work? It's just really interesting that this person has wanted to become a witch and they think that they already have, but at the same time they need acknowledgement for... So maybe they do actually have magical power, it's really hard to tell. But maybe the only thing they need is acknowledgement for that magical power, I don't know. I love Lambda's insult, a total roast there. Yeah, I would have thought so. Yes. What? I've already started to surpass human limits. You can say that I'm already a higher being than any What? That is interesting. Yeah, but I need my superiority to be accepted by somebody who is an even higher rank than I am. A human can tell you that you surpassed their levels. Yeah, fair. But only a human, but only a witch could tell you if you've reached hers. Is that what you mean? Indeed. That is interesting. I really do wonder if this person genuinely believes this, or if they're delusional. Who knows? I'm aware that I have transcended the human world and have entered the world above that as a witch. I would like you, as another witch, to acknowledge that. Yeah. You mean to become a witch, you need the recommendation of another one. That is understandable, actually, yeah. You know, I totally see that. But at the same time, if the very first witch was acknowledged by the people they converted, or maybe that became witches after them, then maybe that. But I don't know. Still, though, how would the first person be able to prove that they're a witch rather than just some person who is higher than a human being? Perhaps humans themselves granted the title of a witch to some being that surpassed them. Maybe. Yeah, so then, even if I don't recognize you, you are already a witch. Yes, I'm already a witch. And so I need acknowledgement of a witch on a higher level than me. I feel like I'm being deceived with tortuous sophisms. What is a sophism? Is that like a whim? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, a clever but false argument. What if I refuse? Yeah, that is interesting. What if she does refuse? Genuinely, what is going to happen? I mean, obviously this person will become a witch, but because of the fact that they will never be acknowledged, they won't be anything but someone that's superior to a human. Like, you can be superior to a human, but you can't be a witch. You can't be both if you're not acknowledged. This is what that person thinks. It could be, in theory, the case, yeah. Then I will force you to acknowledge me. That's actually really, really interesting, that. Not even you will be able to deny that I am... Oh, that is interesting. Jesus Christ. I wonder what kind of a compendium a human could create. Can I take a look? Well, what is a compendium? That sounds like some sort of magical thing. Oh, right. A collection of concise but detailed information about a particular subject. Yeah. About witch-related things, I'd assume. The aroma of sweet tea that surrounded this person reminded me of the chirping of birds in spring. God, after an extremely long journey, I realised that I had met a resilient witch, the kind... Yeah, definitely. It really, really is surprising. The kind that I haven't seen for a long time. Then I plunged myself into studying the formulas of their magic compendium. God damn. Jesus Christ. Thanks to bizarre explanations that only they themselves could give me, I understood that this person's magic was on a level far surpassed. That's ridiculous. God. Yeah, certainly they're still a bit clumsy. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, their magical world is still incomplete. But at the same time, they've not had enough time. However, the formula for its creation is flawless and possesses endless possibility. God. It'll probably take them a long time to learn to deal with this infinity, but without any doubt, the door for them was already open. That's interesting, and above everything, the Switch has managed to... Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and above everything, the Switch has managed to create a compendium for magic in the human world. Yeah, fair. Yeah, the more a witch seeks freedom and power, the more they are freed from any restrictions. What I mean by that is, of course, the restrictions imposed by the material world. That is weird. Yeah, in other words, they will be steadily moving away from the world of humans like me and other witches of my rank did. No, I see that. Yeah, however, this witch has managed to do that while in the world of humans. That is, they can step into our world in their human form. Yeah, that is quite something. And besides, their composition formula is extremely deep. I like that, yeah. It's like as if they're flying down into the bottomless pit while holding an umbrella that doubles as a parachute. Those same depths that I had to descend to using a stepladder for Jesus Christ. For 1,000 years, taking one step after another, and they're flying for... Yeah, that is absurd. It is though, that's very, very true. Yeah, of course, there's the danger of the umbrella breaking, in which case it will fall into hell just like that. That's interesting. So they've basically been able to, you know, study magic by themselves and create their own formulae that they can actually use, even though they are, you know, bound by the restrictions of, you know, humanity, really. Yeah. That is interesting that they were basically bound by total restriction because of, you know, anti-magic related stuff that we're obviously born to have. And also, you know, everything regarding, I suppose, Yeah, they're freed from humanity's restrictions, even though they are a human themselves. So to do that is really, really impressive. That is interesting. It's just really quite funny that, you know, Lambda has potentially found someone with really good potential. Yeah. Because of their recklessness, because of my dislike for this type of humans, combined with my interest for this new witch, it's kind of contradictory. Yeah, I started to shed light on a world yet unknown to even me. Fair enough, yeah, I felt honoured to taste tea that was this sweet. Yeah, because obviously you liken it to our expectations. I really like this music. I think they've actually done a really good job with this. It fits. Here's something I thought of. I believe that all beings are placed somewhere between two extremes. The side that... Oh yeah, the side that creates fate and the side that follows it. Wow. We've got the beautiful city. Humans are one side that follow. God damn. The stupid, helpless, unable to create anything worthwhile. I mean, obviously from the... It's interesting that, you know, the viewpoint of a witch obviously thinks that, you know, we as people are unable to actually create anything that's worthwhile in terms of... well, in terms of magic-related things, really, and obviously rising above humanity to become some sort of witch-related thing. But obviously, in our human world, we would consider all of the things that we can actually create to be, you know, endless possibilities. But it's just interesting, you know, to see how the, you know, the thoughts of what we could create compared to, from us, compared to the higher beings. It's just interesting how, you know, how much they differ. However, they are solid ground to stand on. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, this ground doesn't betray them, so they can live without fear of falling into hell. Yeah, that is understandable, but this person doesn't whatsoever. The side that creates fate is the creators. Yeah, the omniscient and the almighty. What? Yeah, but the fact that they can create anything and have no restrictions placed on them. Oh yeah, it means that they also don't have restriction of the ground under their feet. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, beings that have no restrictions imposed upon them even lose the restriction of meaning. Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, the very concept of life and death disappears for them, and they reach the limit of 0. Or else they fall. Oh, God, yeah, crumble. Vanish. Like mist. But even with these, you know, even if you have actually transcended all of the limits that humanity actually has, you can still have, you know, risk of totally falling around. Totally. Because of the fact, what if you're bored? What if, for example, Bern had, you know, incurable boredom that could never ever disappear? Like, you know, that would happen to her potentially. And it's interesting that, you know, we have, well, the fate that we control, but also the fate that can be created by the creators. It doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, that is understandable. Yeah, but that does make sense, though. Yeah, it is interesting that obviously this has really, really good potential, but at the same time, you know, it's just really interesting that, you know, the things that have the highest potential in this, you know, case, they could give the best results, but at the same time, if they go wrong, then, you know, they could have the worst deaths possible. Yeah. I think the witches belong somewhere in the middle. Yeah, we create fate and play around with it. Fair enough, yeah. And they can actually do that because of how ridiculously powerful they are. Compared to human beings, for example. We have fun with that freedom. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Beatrice does. But we still accept certain limits and restrictions. Yeah, giving us some footing so that we wouldn't fall down. But at the same time, that's not generalised. All witches are different people. You know, I bet you there are some that don't accept that, and they're really, really arrogant as well, so that they feel that, you know, there's no limits to their power, but at the same time, you know, that limit may not be rational whatsoever. Those witches that aren't afraid of falling are much more powerful than I am. Yeah, that's understandable because obviously, yeah, even more powerful than Lambda. I mean, my god, how is that even possible? Will this person become a teacup? Become a teacup that relieves just a moment of the endless boredom on my 1,000-year journey? Yeah, I do wonder. Or will they shine a light on the depths someone as cowardly as me could never reach? Yeah, that is interesting because of the fact that, you know, if you are really, really scared of actually falling down, then obviously there's going to be a limit to what you can actually do. But if you're not, then there's going to be no limit. I think this is why F.R. Beatrice was so powerful, because of the fact that she was never ever scared of, you know, breaking her limits. Like, for example, you know, breaking the limit of how she should do the killings in the epitaph ceremony. Like, it could go so wrong, but at the same time, she just never does it because of the fact that she's so sick. I mean, even though it's a horrible and brutal and disgusting example, I think it demonstrates quite well how, you know, if you have no restrictions, then you can potentially become really powerful. By the way, I do find it really interesting that, you know, Kinzo can summon the Chiesta sisters, so can F.R. Beatrice, but Beatrice can't herself. It's really surprising just how much more power F.R. Beatrice has than Beatrice, and also how much power Kinzo has as a summoner. It's absurd. Will they shine a light on depths as someone... Yeah, someone as cowardly as me could never reach? Will they become a witch that far surpasses who I am and show me an unknown new... That would be really interesting. Well, I don't really care. Yeah, I don't really care. If we were to assume that I am not a traveller headed towards hell, but instead a disaster victim trying her hardest not to drown, then for me, this person is a splendid piece of wood to hold on to. Yeah, that is interesting. Will they become my saviour and take me into an unknown world? Maybe. Or are they just another cup of tea to make my day more elegant? Very well. Yeah, I have no complaint. Fair enough. Yeah, that does make sense. That is interesting, though. This analogy really works because of the fact that, you know, she's trying hard not to drown and, you know, just not want to live from her own boredom. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, so they could either make it so that Lambda totally makes it so that her boredom is relieved because of the fact that she may be taken into a totally different world because of the potential in terms of magical power that this person has. Or maybe it could be the case that, you know, Angie has... No, sorry, not Angie, sorry, Lambda has made it so that... you know, maybe it's just that this person will be another little bit of momentary boredom relief. Maybe it could be that they're going to fail and that could be some momentary boredom relief, but I don't know. This is going to be interesting. I really do wonder... I recognise you as a witch, and obviously, even though this person is still a witch, they're, you know, persisting that she recognises them, and they are never ever going to stop falling down, you know, the depths of what they can achieve, really. I recognise you as a witch. God. Yeah, upon the name of Lambdadelta, the Witch of Certainty. As long as your magical world remains certainly magical. Oh, yeah. That's brilliant. As long as your magical world remains certainly magical, I will continue becoming being your guardian. Ah. It would be a waste to drink tea this delicious on my own. Oh, right. So she's actually... Oh, I have to call my friend. Oh, yeah, fair enough, because obviously there's going to be a new guest. Somebody that has never been seen before. I should surprise her with a wonderful tea party. Fair, yeah. I've gotta love that sound effect. Right, okay, well I think that's obvious that's Bern, but still, that is the best line in Umineko. High Umineko quality right there. Yeah, that's interesting. What? No, Lambda, that's not Lambdadelta's signature. I'm sorry, but like, how the fuck is that not Bern's signature? Well, wait, hang on a second. No, this has got to be Bern's signature, whereas this I think is Lambdadelta's signature. That would make sense. I don't know, or maybe that could be really, really indicative of the fact that, you know, Lambda and then a signature that looks like Bern. Oh my god, is this just more evidence of a Lambda and Bern ship? Right, well, that was a really good story. That was genuinely really good, though. I thought that was a lot more strong than, you know, the letter story. But at the same time, you know, I still thought both of them were really, really fun. I think that one was definitely the best one we've played today. And I actually really enjoyed that. I thought, you know, everything regarding Lambda, I just found that in general really interesting. And, I loved just everything regarding, you know, the wishes and her expectations, and, you know, just hearing a little bit more about her thoughts in general. I thought it was just really valuable and, you know, in general, really interesting. And, yeah, I really do wonder, let me turn the music up a bit. Yeah, it is just really interesting to me to think, you know, that there are so many factors. It's just really interesting. I think the best thing about this was really, really seeing the difference between human and witch, and, you know, just really seeing the difference in terms of how they think compared to us. I just really found that valuable, and I really, really like just seeing, you know, such a new viewpoint, obviously because of the fact that they do have thoughts like a human would, but at the same time, you know, just them having so much more power. And it was really interesting about, you know, Bern's letter as well, and it really did pose, oh shit, that's too loud, but like, it really did pose just quite a lot of mystery as to, you know, firstly, who she was talking to, secondly, you know, what rule X, Y, and Z are, and, you know, also just in general, just stuff regarding Bern. It was just quite nice to see, and, yeah, I preferred the second story, though. I love that story, and I just thought it was in general really interesting. I thought it was really written well, and, yeah, really quite fun read today. So, yeah, I'm gonna go now. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, see ya in the next Tsubasa episode, which I don't know if there's anything I can read before episode 8, but most likely it's gonna be after I've read episode 8. So, yeah, because there are a lot of stuff that I don't really know whether I can do. Yeah, there were 20 scripts. Jesus Christ, stories. Sorry, Jesus. What is this? Oh, I wonder who this is. Oh god, there were a lot of really interesting stories, so obviously there are some with characters that we haven't actually seen yet. I see Beatrice. Beatrice's White Day, what? Oh my god, that's gonna be interesting. But obviously these are stories you should probably read when you've known all the characters, because, oh yeah, Saku. Hane. This is the story I am so looking forward to. That's interesting. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. God, Battler being the culprit. That sounds so ridiculous, so I'm obviously excited for that story. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to in this game, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, see you next time.